Maverick News, the antivirus program for your mind. And now, the Freedom Reporters.
Sorry for the false, start there a few minutes ago. We had some technical problems, so we're starting a little late tonight. But that's okay, better late than never. And it looks like we have successfully been able to get the word out to folks who were ready to watch, but we're sort of disconnected when we went to go live. And joining us live right now is Joseph Leonard from Detroit. How are you, sir?
I got to get that opening tune downloaded for my laptop.
Well, we have quite a show lined up for you tonight, ladies and gents. We're going to open the phones. We're going to take some calls so that you have an opportunity to weigh in on last night's debate. Tell us what you think about the face-off between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And we'll also tonight talk a little bit about Justin Trudeau and the pressure on him to call an election. We'll talk as well about today being 9/11 and the anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attack.
I don't like the word anniversary. Anniversary is for your wedding. This is a somber day of remembrance.
Sure. I can understand that. I hadn't thought of it in those terms. I was just marking the date, but yes, I understand. Yeah.
A lot of people use anniversary. I'm on a one-man crusade to eliminate that from the vocabulary regarding 9/11.
Yeah. How would you, what word do you use?
Well, again, somber Remembrance Day.
A Remembrance Day. 9/11 Remembrance Day.
Yes.
Yeah. But that is more appropriate.
Yeah. I think so. I've been saying that for years and trying to get that into the nomenclature because, again, yes, when I think anniversaries, you want those for the happy events. Language matters. So let's keep anniversary for happy time things and Remembrance Day for, even maybe remembering a parent's death.
Because even in death, you would celebrate the life, not the death. But
right. You wouldn't want to call it their birthday or their death day or their anniversary of their death, the Remembrance Day of their passing. The language has to matter. The left co-ops and tries to warp all language. We got to be better with our verbiage and our linguistics.
Sure. Well, we'll keep that in mind as we work through tonight's broadcast, and we'll begin on the other side of this. Stay with us.
Someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
The entire world is watching.
Every dictator, every crazy dictator in the world is watching.
The world is watching. On TV, the entire world is watching. On social media.
But the entire world is watching, and yes, they are seeing what we have apparently bravely been willing to say that others are thinking.
Stand for freedom. Literally stand for freedom. Let's get this done. The entire world is watching.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars.
Maverick News. Maverick News. Maverick News.
Let me have more control of my own destiny.
The world is watching.
Are they eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio?
If you actually, well, in the debate, of course, the moderator tried to poo-poo it. And again, speaking of language, did you notice his carefully crafted response? There are no credible reports. What they mean is our station won't report the truth because it's an inconvenient fact about the left open borders. But if you look at Ohio newspapers, credible sources are indeed reporting it is indeed fact. The left lies. They can't deal in any reality that's
So-
inconvenient to their narrative.
A couple of days ago, two videos sent to me. People send me videos all the time. You should run this. Look at this. Rick, you're only half awake. You're asleep. Wait, watch this. This will wake you up. Then you'll understand. Like constant. So, and that's cool because it actually helps.
The cat
Helps
and
me.
dog truthers.
Yes, right. So I got these two videos a couple of days ago, and I watched them, and I thought, I don't know, there's something weird about these videos. I'm not going to run these because I need to verify the information first. But this is what it's all about. Now there are two videos. There's another one. I don't have it queued up at the moment, but this woman in the other video is seen kneeling down, and it looks like there's a dead cat in front of her, and the story is supposed to be that she had bludgeoned this cat to death or smashed its skull and then was eating the cat. And so, I mean, I don't know, right? This is just a social media video, and so this is a longer version of it, but it doesn't have the portion attached where she's kneeling down in front of the cat. Now I'm going to run it for you because this is what the whole thing in the debate last night.
It's relevant.
Right. This is what Donald Trump was referring to in the debate last night. And it's just caused this giant ruckus, right? Well, okay, here it is here. Okay, you ready? Rock and roll.
So you have a right to remain silent on anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney if you can't afford one, won't be appointed to you at state's expense. You have a right to have that attorney present during any questioning. You have a right to stop answering any questions once they begin. Do you understand your rights? Do you understand? Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Get in there. It's ridiculous. Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with me.
Did you see her eating it?
Eating it.
She was eating it?
Yeah. She said, but it's blood on her shoes. She said she stumped it out.
So there you have it.
Yep. Again, the left plays spin games with language. They carefully said there are no credible reports. And what they mean is, of course, they only consider what they put on their channel as credible. Plenty credible news outlets have reported it in Ohio. It's the same with so many, like the voter fraud. There is no verifiable evidence. Well, you haven't bothered to verify the evidence that is there. It's all verbiage, linguistic games with the left.
Yeah, so here's the moment in the debate last night between Harris and Trump where he makes reference to Springfield, Ohio, and what we're just talking about here, immigrants who he says are flooding into the community, which is really what the issue started out as. But he's saying,
it's about open borders and why he's pointing it out and why the left and the media doesn't want the narrative out there because it talks to the open borders. I hope you have the moderator's response because again, makes my point.
I don't know if it's on this clip or not, but we'll run it. I'm not sure how far this clip goes, but I did cue it up. Here we go.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And it's in Springfield.
Yeah, I don't have that response.
Shoot, but they outright lied about it. Because again, Ohio newspapers reporting the facts. He is correct. Again, provably right. And it's like all the other, right? He tells the truth, they lie about it. Kamala, the Charlottesville lie, not a fact check on. I'm surprised she didn't bring up the injecting bleach hoax. The dictator on day one joke that everyone can see the video that he is joking with the crowd, that they lie by omission and distortion. They will never show the tape of him saying, oh yeah, I'll be maybe a dictator on day one for one day, because it's a joke. And if they show the video, people will know it's a joke, but they want to pretend he was being serious.
Here, I've got, I think I've got the full exchange here. So let's, because there's a lot of criticism being leveled tonight at the moderators from the debate last night. And I think this includes the comments from the moderator, the fact checking.
Tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer.
Because
and
he's
what you also
personable.
notice is that people start leaving his rallies early.
He's not a
out of exhaustion
politician.
And boredom.
He wants to
and I will tell you, the
relate
one
to
thing
the
you will
audience.
not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border.
First, let me respond as to the rallies.
That's a lie.
She said
a lie.
people start leaving.
A
People
lie.
don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country. And if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there had been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
The people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
say
manager.
the
City
dog
manager
was eaten by
lied.
the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice
We'll
President
find
Harris,
out.
I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
No credible
Talk about extreme.
Again,
You know,
careful
this
language.
is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election I actually have the endorsement.
Moderator spin, not fact verification, not fact checking, interjecting left-wing false narrative spin. And the reason why Trump talks about sometimes off the wall things is because he's a relatable person. He's not a piece of shit politician like the communist is, who goes from city to city to city repeating the same teleprompter speech with just the name of the location changed. I've run for office. I understand, like Trump does teleprompter. You've got to get in your stump speech points. But like Trump, when I ran for office, I understood the point. You need to relate, and you need to make each event unique and different. So you go off prompter and say something. And Trump can't do this. His audiences are too big, but I would pick 3 people in the front row, ask me questions. Every event then would be unique and different. And, the
Okay. So it's okay. It's okay. So let's just bring it back down a level here. Okay.
He stated facts, and they didn't like it.
Okay, let's just dial it back. Let's take a break, and I just need too much, Joseph. Too much, man. Too many cats and dogs. I need a moment. Okay, hang on, folks. We'll be right back.
He's a fighter. He's a survivor. President Trump, defiant, strong. He is determined to make America great again. Pay tribute to the 45th President of the United States with this collectible t-shirt from the Maverick News Memorable Moments collection. Even a would-be assassin's bullet could not stop him. Instead, he emerged with his fist in the air ready to fight. For freedom. Get your Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt with any donation of $30 or more to Maverick News. There are 2 iconic artistic designs to choose from. But there is only one way to get these. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Support free speech. Free media. Support Maverick News. Call 1-866-248-1490 or order online at supergeeks.tv.
Okay, we're back. I'm just getting some messages coming in. So go ahead.
Okay. I'm so glad you played that ad, because that makes a point about the rallies. The rally where they tried to murder the man, the outside rally had more people in that one place and time than any of 3 of Cackle's arena events combined.
Okay. This is the weirdest election ever. Like the weirdest.
No, it is.
The strangest, the most bizarre.
It is.
I can't believe we're having this conversation.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
The most important election of our lifetime. That always gets said. This time, it really is. We are either going to restore our American Republic, or we are communist Venezuela.
Okay. Okay. Dogs and are they eating the dog? This is what the people are talking. All right. Let's just. Oh my God. I thought that I had a train of thought tonight. And okay, and just the energy coming from you on this has
I took you off the rails.
left me discombobulated, okay? Let's just can we just bring it down a notch here so we can get on an even keel and have a broader discussion about the debate last night overall. Who won, who lost? What's your view on that?
Well, again, as I always say here, I'm not here to wear my red MAGA hat. I'm here to
Joe Biden did. He literally put on, this is so weird. Joe Biden. Did you see this?
No.
Did you see this? Let me find it.
I saw Swift talking about the debate, but I didn't hear.
No, this is so weird. So, oh my goodness, I don't even. Here it is, right here. I'm not making it up. Now, I've seen this from multiple angles, so I believe this to be true.
Now the deep
I have
fake,
to say,
huh?
I can't. I don't know what's true anymore. But for crying out loud, here's Joe Biden literally putting on a Trump campaign hat. Like he's in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and first responders, somebody there had a Trump hat, Trump 2024.
Well, reality,
like, put it on, and he puts it on.
Reality is this man is so far gone that, yeah, he'll do something like that. But, you know, again, I want to give you honest analysis. Obviously, I was looking for substance and policy and facts. Trump gave them. Those who wanted cackles to do dodging and dancing and false narratives, they'll think she won because she accomplished what she wanted to do, avoid her record and that she's in office. One of the best lines was when Trump said, how about we just stop the debate? I'll go back to DC with you right now. We could get Biden to sign an executive order to close the border. Because they could do that. They undid everything Trump did. That was the best Reagan-esque line.
Okay. Why did Trump? Why did he put the Trump hat on? Why did Biden put the Trump hat on?
That I have no idea of.
Because we're talking about here. Let's stay focused, okay? So why? Like, isn't that weird to you?
Yeah, well, again, my mother had dementia. If I'd have given her a hat, she'd have put it on if it said, go bleep yourself. He's just so far gone, he doesn't know what's going on.
All right, so there's that weirdness. I don't know, man. It's just
which is why he had to step down, and people are speculating he will resign the presidency so that Kamala can be the incumbent because it's too close. It's tied in the polls, and if things continue to trend Trump's way, that will be their desperation. He resigns, so she is an incumbent.
Joseph, please, my friend, I need you to do me a favor. We have to stop shouting because I can't even think. I can't too much. Cats and dogs and shouting and all the other weirdness. So I have to ask you, please, just dial it back a little bit.
Okay.
I know that this is exciting, but I can't even function.
Could you imagine if I drank caffeinated coffee?
Oh, I know. So can I please ask you to just dial it back a bit because this is just off the charts tonight. And I'm begging you. Okay. So just emotion. Let's take it down about 50%. Stay calm. And keep the tone calm. Because otherwise my head is gonna blow. So and I can't even think. Okay. So I need you to help me, man. This is just too stressful.
Okay, brother. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So And we're
But
going to
like
go to
you,
the phones here in a moment, folks.
yeah,
Okay.
like you said, though, this is such an unbelievable time and election this go round. I mean, the cats and dogs thing that, again, they refuse to acknowledge because it's inconvenient facts about their open border, who's coming in. So, yeah, things, it's like the old, what's the Spinal Tap, right? But this goes to 11. I go to 11, my friend. This goes to 11.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what do you guys think in the chat? Let's take a look in here. Is I'm just going to put the simple question out first of all. Who won the debate last night? Because I'm gonna say this. All right, I think Harris won the debate. The reason I'm not. That's just me being impartial and unbiased. The reason is that a bunch of reasons. She provided her vision for the future. Trump focused on a lot of negative things. He was very critical of her. I don't think he was effective in conveying his message. You know, the whole tone of his campaign has sort of shifted this time around. I don't think it's as patriotic and as positive as it was like the first time around when he first got elected in the first campaign, and he needs to somehow get back to that feeling where he had forward momentum and there was a more patriotism. This time, it's all very dark. It's like failing nation, and he had those messages before, but but here's the key thing: at the end of the debate last night, when he had the final word, all he had to do is do what he does at the rallies, where he goes, you know, we're going to make America safe again. We're going to make America strong again, prosperous again, all these things. And we're going to make America great again. That's all he had to do. But he didn't do that. Instead, he criticized her again after she had just given her vision for, you know, the future, and she was trying to paint a bright picture for the future and be inspirational. And then he comes in with more darkness at the end. It left people feeling, you know, the formula for the storytelling at the rallies has been largely very, very effective. You know, he comes in, he takes people on a bit of an emotional roller coaster ride. He lays out the issues, criticizes his political opponent, hammers away at that, talks about how bad things are, but then starts to build it back up at the end of his rallies, where he starts to talk about his vision, what they're going to do, all the great things they're going to do to make America great again. And then at the very end, we're going to make America great again. And people cheer and people feel good about that. And then they have something to vote for, not something to vote against. Now, the negativity, the negative energy is also very positive, or very effective, I should say, in generating support, but you have to leave people with that feeling of positivity at the end so that they feel like motivated. You're going to fight against that because we're going to vote for that. Vote for this.
Yeah.
That's why his rallies have always been effective. He didn't do that last night. So it fell flat at the end, and it didn't work because he'd had so much negativity all the way through. He was scowling. He was angry. He was negative, negative, negative. He was there to fight. He was in fight mode the entire time. She wasn't. She knew she was acting. The hand under the chin, the look. Right? Oh, come on. Really?
And that was acting.
Like, you're so crazy,
acting.
Donald.
Acting. And that
it was acting.
Grin, rather than
but it was
cackling,
effective.
It was a poker face grin.
Right. But
every time he hit her with facts that were inconvenient,
it worked.
Certain analysis can be made, or argument can be made for what you're saying. And again, I'm not rah, Trump is perfect. No, he let her get his goat, speaking of animals again, too many times.
Well, the
And
RFK
then-
Jr. says that it was a goat, not a dog. He didn't eat the dog. He says it's a goat. I don't know. There was a veterinarian that counted the ribs, and he said, no, it's a dog. And so, and this is the thing, right? Now, here's the thing, Joseph. What did the moderator say there? He said, we reached out to the city manager who told us that there are no credible reports. Okay. Here's the thing. How did the moderator know that Donald Trump was going to bring up the dog thing? How did they know in advance that that was going to come up? And so they took the time to reach out to the city manager in Springfield, Ohio, to have that little snippet of information ready so that he could fact check Donald Trump on the fly on that particular issue.
Yeah.
Doesn't that strike you as a little bit odd?
Yeah. And again, in my Before It's News piece that I wrote about the debate, I call out Trump. I agree that he missed some opportunities. I'm going to read a paragraph. I think Trump missed an opportunity on the immigration issue to call out Biden-Harris on the open borders and people from 2/3 of all nations on the planet, not just South and Central America, coming here, including from many terrorist nations, and with today being 9/11 somber Remembrance Day, we need to be aware of that. That was a major missed opportunity.
So I do want to open the phones up to folks tonight. So if you'd like to call in, let me put this number up on the screen for you again.
Call me whatever you want, just not late for dinner, as they say, right?
That's right. 519-401-1373. 519-401-1373. Let's just run the little promo video with the phone numbers so that you know how to call in and exercise your right to free speech tonight. Tell us what you think about the presidential debate last night. Who won? Who lost? What does it mean moving forward as we now sit how many days away from the election? I don't know. It's November 5th anyway. So you can do the math. We'll be back right after this. Okay, Mavericks, it's call-in time. Join the conversation. Call now. 1-519-401-1373. One 519-401-1373. Exercise your right to free speech. That's 1-519-401-1373. That's 1-519-401-1373. Maverick News. Call now. The world is watching and listening to you. Okay, we have our first caller of the evening with us.
Should I be worried?
John. It's John from out west in Alberta, Canada. And Joseph, you'll be able to hear John. John, you won't be able to hear Joseph. So just keep that in mind. I may need to intervene and act as a communication conduit between the two of you if you guys need to speak to each other. So go ahead, though, John. And what do you think? Who won the debate?
Well, good evening, Maverick News from Alberta. First, shout out Leonard. We love you, man, in oil-rich Western Canada, Alberta. And I'm part American from Minnesota. So you're welcome out here anytime, Leonard. Come out to the Calgary Stampede next year, maybe with Rick. We'll tour you up to Banff, Lake Louise, and treat you like royalty, my friend.
Oh, I would love that.
The debate last night, Rick, I hate to agree with you, but...
You hate to agree with me?
Well, but I have to, because I'm trying to be non-biased. I think Harris came out and did much, much better than a lot of people figured she would have done. I think Trump kind of took the bait. Hillary Clinton was allegedly kind of coaxing Harris on her prep work. And I think Trump took the bait. Trump didn't seem in an overly kind of good mood last night. And I think there were some really golden opportunities that Trump kind of missed. Having said that, I don't think it's going to make really an overall difference. Taylor Swift came out, the unmarried cat lady, endorsing Harris. And what I don't like, Rick and Leonard, about these celebrities, whether they're movie stars, celebrities, or musicians, I mean, why do you want to piss off half of the crowd paying for your multi-million-dollar mansion in Beverly Hills? I just have never understood that. Having said that, I think Trump needs to watch a few more Ronald Reagan old video clips and come in as a little softer. And I'm going to take one, Rick, out of the old Canadian playbook. And here's one for you, Leonard. I can't think of what prime minister it was, Rick, whether it was Harper or I forget it. One of the debates, I think it was Harper, looked right into the camera and he spoke in a really nice way to all Canadians as an individual. And I think Trump missed that opportunity last night. I think he missed a number of opportunities, unfortunately. Is it going to really hurt him at the end of the day, Leonard and Rick? I don't really know. I do think in my gut, a lot of polling that I looked at, I think there's a lot of secret Trump voters out there that are going to come out like 2016, no Trump lawn signs or Vance on their lawn, and I think they're going to come out in a silent wave, and they're going to put the X on Trump, and we're hopefully praying to the baby Jesus, going to sneak in with that 273 or 4 electoral college votes and, secure the White House again. On a different page, I've watched a lot of news reporting today. The dog and cat story, to me, there's multiple credible news outlets out there that are reporting on it, that it is unfortunately a very true story.
They lied.
In fact, here, there's videos. Oh my God, this is a little bit graphic. I don't even know if I should show this. I have videos right here from Europe showing African immigrants cooking cats and dogs in the street.
Well, that's different from event in the U.S.
Leonard, different cultures. I mean, you're talking about different cultures from around the world, and what we do in Canada or the United States is very different from what some of these other cultures do. Some of them eat rats. I mean, I hate to get graphic, but I mean, this story that Trump talked about last night, as gross and graphic as it is, it seems to be very, very legit from the different, and I looked at 6 different, and I sent them to you, Rick, on your text, 6 different independent news outlets reporting similar things going on with dogs and cats. And of course, this manager from Springfield is going to come out and deny it because it doesn't look very good on the town, eh, guys?
Yeah, it's true. What do you think, Joseph? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, regarding the cat thing again, yes, it's a cultural thing. In North Korea, they literally have an industry to raise cats for slaughter for meals. So yeah, there's definitely that. And I agree. I admit Trump missed opportunities. Trump was on defensive because he knew the moderators were there for Kamala again.
Yeah, so I've got the endorsement from Taylor Swift ready to bring up here on the screen. John, you mentioned it just previously, but you have an issue with celebrities like this throwing their support behind presidential
I mentioned
candidates?
it too. Yeah, I mentioned it too.
Well, like Megyn Kelly said today, yeah, you've done a good job, Taylor, of pissing off 81 million Republicans to not come to your concerts anymore. I just think it's a very foolish thing for a celebrity to do. If they want to tell you who they're going to vote for and support privately off the record at a cocktail party in Beverly Hills, that's one thing. But why would you take your livelihood and put it on the line and piss off half of the country, whether you're Democrat, Republican, or Libertarian, or Independent? I mean, to me, I just look at the, what was it, the Dixie Chicks, Rick and Joseph?
Yes, yes.
Didn't they come out in favor of, was it Bush? And it just
No.
about ended, came up
No.
with 99%
No.
close of ending their career?
No.
They came out for Democrats.
No, they were supporting Democrats. Yeah, Joseph just conveyed
Yeah.
that as well. Yeah, no, it was the opposite way.
Two things on that.
Didn't it just about end their career?
Yes, they are now the Chicks, not the Dixie Chicks. And they were at the DNC convention the other day, so they haven't learned anything. Michael Jordan told a great tale after his career was over. Democrats wanted them to endorse somebody in Chicago. He said no, because Republicans buy sports shoes too. He got it. Morons like Swift do not. And she's already got her millions. She doesn't care if anyone in her audience is a slave to the communist state and doesn't have anything. She's got hers. She don't care. She just wants to go to the cocktail parties.
She says, I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos, blah, 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 blah. And then she signs it, Taylor Swift, childless cat lady. Which is a direct dig at who, Joseph? J.D.
After
Vance.
J.D. Vance. And there are, however, all over social media, Swifties for Trump. Some of her audience gets it. Hey, we like her as a singer, but her songs are all about what? Her bad choice in character, her whole life. All these people she's gone out with and whatever, and her song, It's Me. Yes, it is you, Swift. You're not too swift in the uptake regarding Martin Luther King Jr.'s content of character. There are Swifties for Trump all over social media.
Okay, so let me just find the J.D. Vance reaction clip, unless we've lost it. No, I think I have it here. Yeah, here we go. This is J.D. Vance responding to Taylor Swift's endorsement and the dig she took at him. Here it is.
Look, we admire Taylor Swift's music, but I don't think most Americans, whether they like her music or fans of hers or not, are going to be influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and the problems of most Americans. Look, we admire Taylor Swift's music.
So is that fair?
Oh, he's absolutely spot on there. Again, The Rock is kind of a rhino, but he's a Republican. Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. But do I take their advice on politics? No, even though they're supposedly on my side. He's exactly right. Billionaires who have their money, they don't care if you get anything. They've got theirs. They want to go to the DC insider elitist cocktail parties all the time.
Now here's Megyn Kelly. John, I'm going to run this for you. Just hang on for a moment. And I don't know if you'll be able to, you won't be able to hear this on your end, but I'm going to run this Megyn Kelly clip because you did make reference to it. So here she is.
I'm disgusted. I'm ashamed of those moderators at ABC News. They did exactly what their bosses wanted them to do. The person who runs ABC News is a close personal friend of Kamala Harris that is responsible for Kamala Harris and her husband meeting. And they did Dana Walden's bidding tonight. It was 3-1 on that debate stage this evening. Hi, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly, a special program tonight.
Now, do you have the RFK clip where he says independents are breaking 60-40, maybe 70-30 to Trump after that debate? And if he's correct, in the battleground states, if it breaks 70-30, that will beat the margin of the left sheet, and Trump will win a landslide. If it's only 60-40, it should nudge it Trump's way, but still not a guarantee. All that matters, not me, not you, the independents.
So what do you think, John? So Megyn Kelly says that it was 3-1 because the moderators were biased. What do you think?
Yeah, Joseph and Rick, you know, I've been a big fan of David Muir, and I'm incredibly disappointed that he would play this game. I thought he had an awful lot more integrity. I think it's just plain sleazy on behalf of the bosses at ABC News, and allegedly comrade Kamala Harris's best friend runs ABC News. Gentlemen, there's 55 days to go. Buckle your seatbelts. This is as the stomach turns, the young and the restless. If you think this thing's weird now, I don't know, guys. I think there's more to come. I really think there's more to come. And on a final thought, I'll let you guys go. May God bless the United States of America with Canada as well. And gentlemen, in God we trust. And again, Maverick News Worldwide, we pray for peace. We pray for peace around the world.
Amen.
And some sanity with these politicians.
I fear they may attempt to murder him again. There's a Secret Service whistleblower that says they are aware of 5 different plots, that there is likely to be at least 3 assassination attempts. It wouldn't surprise me. Because of this, he's a threat to democracy. Nonsense. He's Hitler. It's ridiculous. It is Kamala Harris who is the nominee picked by the Democrat Party elites.
Well, in fact, Joseph, I've got that clip queued up right here where he talks about taking a bullet to the head.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation
we do have a lot
that went nowhere.
We have a lot to get to. Lindsay?
Yeah. Now, she did not get one Democrat voter's vote to be the nominee, but she's the nominee. 2020, she ran. She did not secure one Democrat Party, and they are the Democrat Party, not the Democratic Party. They are nothing to do with Democratic. Again, she did not get one delegate vote out of the 2020 election, nor the 2024 election, but she's the anointed nominee by the elites of the party. They are not Democratic.
Okay.
Am
so
I
if you
not
wanna
right
call in
on that,
tonight-
Rick?
Yeah, that's true. So I think he missed I think he missed an opportunity there, though, because again, he went into that issue or that talking point or the attempted assassination, and he pointed his finger at her and said it's because of them, and it's a negative, right? But what he could have said is, you think I'm a threat to democracy? I took a bullet to the head for democracy. See, that would have been,
I agree,
a better way to frame it. So I don't think that, honestly, I don't think he got, either he didn't get the best debate prep from his coaches, or he didn't listen. One or the other. But
he doesn't listen. And again, this is why some people like him so much, and others like me have no hair. We've pulled it all out. No, that was because of chemotherapy. But literally, He is not a politician. He's not a polished. He could have said it
Well, and
a
he's
lot
not,
better.
and he didn't have a refined plan. I got the sense he was trying to just wing it. And,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and she went in with a very definite plan of action. She took it through a logical progression. I would almost say that she was in sync with those moderators.
Oh, she
as
was.
though they were leading him around.
They
And,
prepped her.
yeah.
They prepped her for a whole week. She memorized, and that's what we got, all 90 minutes. Memorized, prepared, pre-rehearsed talking points, and the moderators probably knew they were all coming.
They saw him coming. They knew.
Well, they saw her coming too, yeah.
But no, she knew. Whoever prepared her, she's got a very skilled team around her, because that was a carefully crafted debate plan from the beginning to the end. Everything was polished. It was choreographed, and they were triggering him. She did get under his skin. She knew that if she said this, he would say that. And then when he said that, she had the comeback. And then when he said that, the moderator knew and instantly went there with the thing about the dog, right?
Yeah.
So these people were playing him like a fiddle. And he took the bait, as you said.
Yes,
It cost him big time last night, in my opinion. Now, some people might say, oh, he won the debate. And it looks like it's, from the polling I've seen, it's somewhere around 40-60, 40-60, 40-60. 40% think Trump won, 60% think Harris won. And that's me sort of taking all the polls, mixing them all together, and coming up with, an average aggregate number, right? But I when I sit back and I look at it, I say he probably lost, because I think he did lose.
Well, it depends what you're looking for, Rick. If you're looking for a polished politician, she is what you got. She memorized all her hit lines.
Okay, let's go to our next caller. Who do we have on the line? Hang on here. I have to get you. There we go. Now we can hear you. Go ahead. Who's this?
It's Peace Lady. How are you, Rick?
Hello, Sandy. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Happy Wednesday.
It is a happy Wednesday, and every time you call in with your sweet voice, you make us all happy, because your voice is like a ray of sunshine.
Oh, thank you. Well, I want to be Peace Lady for a while.
Okay, well, that's good, because that's inspirational in itself.
Is Joseph still there?
He is, but you can't hear him. He can hear you, though.
Okay, so Joseph, sit down and shut up.
Oh, no. I think what she means, Joseph, is thank you for just dialing it down a little bit, because Rick is under a little bit of stress.
I'm toning it down too.
Good, thank you, because I need a little bit of I need a little bit of calmness so that I can think straight. Yes, I do, especially right now.
I'm learning about it too. I'm learning a lot about mindfulness.
Yeah.
And I saw the debate last night, and I was so not impressed.
And what?
By who?
Explain that. What do you mean?
Because, well, one thing, I'll make one point, like, this is big, okay? Kamala Harris did not call anybody names.
Wait, Joseph. Did Kamala Harris call anybody names last night?
The left always call Trump racist, sexist,
okay, hang on,
homophobic.
Sandy. I'll tell you when to talk again. You guys are talking over each other. This is Joseph's turn to talk. You can't hear him. Just a moment.
Right.
Joseph, did she or didn't she?
Not last night, but she is always calling him Hitler, racist, sexist, homophobic. Those are name calling. So it kills me when a leftist likes to make an issue about name calling. It's hilarious.
Okay, so Sandy, please continue. What are your thoughts? Joseph says that Kamala Harris has called Trump names in the past, habitually, and indeed, very, very toxic things as well. But last night, we're talking about the debate. We're talking about the debate.
I don't think it was that toxic because she said at one point, he's sneaky.
He's sneaky? Okay.
I found when I saw Trump last night, I heard a little bit of anger.
Yes. A lot of anger, actually, I would say, yes.
Yeah. I don't think he really wanted to be there. I also felt a very frustrated person. How old is he now? What, like 77?
80 something, I thought.
No, he's in his 80s.
Are you kidding me?
No, I don't think so. I think that's right.
Oh, come on, man. Really?
Yeah.
I get it the way the president.
Oh, no. You're right, Sandy. You're right. He's 78. I just looked it up.
Why are they always old?
Why are they always old? Well, I can tell you why. Now, there are other conspiracy theories surrounding this, but what it comes down to is to be the president of the United States. If you are, any person who holds incredible responsibility and incredible power. You literally have a button you can push that could destroy the world. So let me finish. The reason politicians generally in positions like that, and certainly in the position as a president of the United States, is you want someone mature, level-headed, calm, rational, sane, and very experienced.
He's not of them.
Oh, I know that, but but the idea is, has generally been that if you get someone older who's been around the block a few times, it's much better to have someone in there who's older, who's wiser, who's not so.
Who's been president for 4 years already?
No, but someone who isn't going to just have a knee-jerk reaction to something and push the button. All right, you want someone in there
No one is going to push any button.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. We don't want a nuclear war. So that's why generally we have older candidates running in the position of president, because you don't want some young buck in there who's got something to prove and is too full of testosterone to keep his head screwed on straight and gets a little too angry a little too quickly. You want someone
like The Rock.
you want someone calm, right?
He would probably do.
And level-headed. So that's why I'm not talking about any particular candidate. I'm just saying, in general, that's why you get older people in office. Now, the downside of that, of course, is what we've seen with Joe Biden. He's suffering from dementia. We even saw it with Ronald Reagan in the final years of his presidency, where he began to decline. His mental capacity began to diminish, and people were very concerned about that. They were concerned about him at that time. But the truth of the matter is, and people will say this is a problem or that there's a shadow government running. No, the real truth is the real truth is that any president is really just the figurehead, the person at the front of a big team.
Correct.
They have a whole team that forms an administration that surrounds the president. And the president is the boss. The president is the leader, right? But he's sort of at the helm. He's the commander in chief. Sure, go ahead.
Did you see the opening before the debate started, and they were all coming out in the vehicles?
Well, I saw some of that. Yeah, yeah, I saw some of
I
that.
watched it. Do you know how many vehicles were involved in that with police?
I don't know, hundreds.
Astronomical.
Yeah,
Astronomical, my friend.
yeah,
It literally take up the whole freaking highway.
yeah. It was a convoy.
Convoy of yeah. The
10-4, good buddy.
Convoy wars. Harris versus Trump on I-75.
I see a Smoky up ahead.
25. I don't want to see that book. I don't want to read it because God only knows what's in it.
Who won the debate, Sandy? Who won the debate?
Oh, it's clear who she thinks is did.
Neither of them.
Neither one.
Oh, that's a surprise to me.
So what are you saying? It was a draw, or they both lost?
They both lost.
Okay, why?
That's a reasonable stance.
Of the negativity, the verbalization about it. There was lack of communication on it.
Yeah.
The only thing they said about Kamala was that she owned an ammunition.
She what?
She owns an ammunition.
She owns an. You mean a
I'm
gun?
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a gun. She said she's a gun owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said that to sort of defuse the attack on gun rights.
Her
Trump
gun
is starting to
confiscation
launch.
stance.
She does, but where is she actually from?
Canada.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she went to high school in Montreal. It's
I
true.
know, but is she Canadian or American
No,
or both?
she is American.
Jamaican who grew up in Canada, became a U.S.
Did the
citizen.
interview about her, and she went to school in Montreal.
She did.
So, well, apparently, I don't know if it's true or not. Like, I'm just saying.
Was Trump accurate when he said that the people in Springfield, the immigrants there, are eating the cats and dogs? What do you think?
Do you think that's true?
I really don't know. Even with those videos, I'm skeptical of everything I'm seeing online. And just because someone says that it's happening doesn't necessarily mean it's happening. I have not seen. I haven't seen it personally.
Look at Ohio newspapers.
So I don't know. I mean, there are people who are saying it. There are people who are quoted as saying that they've seen it. Those are, people providing eyewitness reports, I suppose. But that's the thing. I don't know. It's such a bizarre thing, and it's just a story that came to surface. This is strange to me too. That story came to the surface about 2 or 3 days ago. It was sent to me. I watched it. I didn't run it here on this program because I wasn't sure if it was credible or not. So I just thought, well, I'm just going to back off and wait. Well, we just did now. We did now, but then Trump ends up talking about it in the presidential debate, and then it costs him because they use that to support their whole weirdness narrative, right? As part of all of this. And that makes me also suspect because it doesn't come out until a couple of days before the debate. Then he uses it in the debate. Then the moderator is ready for him with a fact check as soon as he mentions it in the debate. They started the whole. They've got the whole weird word attached to this campaign. To me, the whole thing feels like a setup from the very beginning, almost like these videos were created or this narrative was created or something online so that they could bait him because they knew he'd watch it, and almost like a psyop. If you have the resources, which these political parties likely do, you can hire a cyber team to, maybe even hackers, to target people with specific videos, even through advertising. You can have Facebook, push a video out to a particular person so that they can see it, so that they'll be exposed to it, and then you get this reaction. I mean, they literally, I've been telling people on this program for a long time that we are being subjected to a giant psyop as part of information warfare. And I've also said that politicians are not immune. They could.
It's a ginormous bubble, my friend.
Yeah, I think that they are influencing and even manipulating our politicians, our political leaders, in the same way that they're doing it to us, or trying to. They're subject.
It's a different kind of bubble.
Yeah. So don't think that they're immune, or that, they're in on everything. They're in on it and they're controlling it. I think that, I don't know. I mean, that's a conspiracy theory in itself, what I'm saying, right? In a way, I'm just saying that it is possible.
The other day, I said to myself, all this stuff going on the internet, they're all trying to connect it to something that is connected to something.
Well, one thing is connected to another, and we're all
Always
living with 6 degrees of separation.
Yep.
So there
And
you go.
conspiracy theory,
And lack of communication.
conspiracy theory sells.
Yes, sir, my friend. And all this stuff going on, especially here in Canada, I haven't seen people or hearing about people eating their pets or anything of that sort of thing. And whoever started this, and I think you and I know both who it is, and I'm not going to say the name, right?
You're not going to say the name of who started what? The dog eating story?
The rumor of the animal thing, and he's a friend of yours, and I'm not saying a word.
I'm not following you, but you've lost me, Sandy. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. He was on the other night, and you were going through a hell of a time with him the other night.
Oh, okay. It's okay.
Oh, I think I know who she's talking about now.
You know who really started the whole darn thing? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with his dog eating thing it's a goat.
Yeah,
That's the other reason I find this whole thing highly suspect, because because you got the dog eating story with RFK Jr. plus the bear thing. Now he's joined the Trump coalition unity party thingy-majiggy, and then the next thing you know, you've got all this stuff going on. And come on.
You know what he did? He used a bicycle. He put a bicycle involved in it.
Yeah, I know. He thought it was going to be funny. It would be a joke. He thought people would think that the bear that he dumped in Central Park, people would think that it had been run over by a bike. I would never have thought. I would never put the two of those things together. If I saw a dead bear in a park with a bicycle laying next to it, I wouldn't even begin to think that the bicycle had hit the bear and killed it in a bicycle run over. That's like, that was his, I couldn't even get it.
Wouldn't you want to call animal control or somebody that would come and pick it up?
I think maybe what you do at that point is you find out who did that, and then you call the men in the white jackets to come and escort the person to the 3rd floor of the local hospital where they get an assessment.
Like I said to myself the other day, JFK, how old are you? What? Are you 12?
Well, it's just,
are you freaking 12? Grow up.
It's just the whole thing. It just fits too neatly together somehow, Oh, RFK, the dog eating story with RFK. Now, and then the whole immigrants eating dogs, and then just the whole thing. Too much. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. I have to admit that the word fits. This is all weird. It's all very weird. It's weird that the moderator had that comeback immediately available like that. Now, if he had said it differently, if he had said it like, Mr. Trump, President Trump, we recently ran some stories from Springfield, Ohio, and I noticed that the municipal officials there, including the city manager, has said that there are no credible reports. If he had phrased it like that, but no, he didn't say that. What did he say? He said, we reached out to the city manager.
For a lie.
Why would you bother to reach out to the city manager unless, for comment on the dog eating story, unless you expected that to come out of Trump's mouth at some point during the debate? And because you think that it's so weird and isn't even a real thing, why would you think that Trump would even talk about such a thing if you think it's not even real?
No, they thought the J.D. Vance cat lady thing would come up.
It's all. It was like choreographed.
Trump has a lot of credentials for the internet. I think so. I think he has a lot of credentials for the internet.
What?
I think he's part owner of it.
Who?
Trump.
He owns the internet?
You never know now.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Again, you've lost me, but that's okay. So, yeah.
Well, if he claims himself to be a millionaire with all this money going around, then why doesn't he start spending it?
On what?
People who need it.
Okay, sure.
Like, come out and be a man about it and man up. Maybe he's hoarding his money.
I don't know. I think we're kind of getting off into the weeds here a little bit,
Wow.
Sandy.
Well, you know
just
what?
give me a.
I'm so sad with Trump. I don't want Trump for president. I don't because it scares me.
Oh, yeah. So he kind of lost you last night, did he?
Oh, big time.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
Big time. And she did too. She lost me too as well because I don't trust them anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to know who the good guys are anymore, isn't it?
I don't know who it is going to be. Like, God help America, my friend. Like your friend John there in the call there, baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we need him.
Yes, we do.
The Jesus man, we need him now because you know what? JFK, I don't know. He's not going to get.
You mean RFK Jr. Yeah.
You know what I think he's trying to do? I think he's trying to cop out.
Okay. Well, listen, Sandy, I thank you for calling in tonight.
Well, I had something about Melania. I'll call another night.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. You share what you want to say.
I wrote some notes down. She's actually from
Slovenia.
Today, and I was
Slovenia.
So she's from Nova Mestros. Slovenia.
Yeah.
She's Yugoslavian.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Nobody's denied that.
Of Kingdom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually born April 24th. She's 54 years old.
Okay.
And I saw her message last night, and I sat there and I went, oh my God.
You mean where she's talking about they need to get to the bottom of the assassination attempt because there's more going on than they're letting on?
Yeah, there's more going on than meets the eye, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I won't go into too much detail right now, but I don't want to say anything wrong, right?
Sure, yeah.
You know, I don't even trust her either because I saw her a couple of years ago.
Yep.
She went into a school. I think it was like some form of high school or something in the United States. And she had a jacket on.
Yes.
Did you see that?
The one that said, I just don't care anymore or something like that, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. It's recorded.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, so...
Listen, I am going to wrap up so that we can move on. So
I'm very skeptic of her, so...
Sure.
Yeah, she looks like Elvira.
She looks like Elvira. Yeah, she's like...
You are no Elvira, my friend. You are Rick Walker on the Maverick News Media, and we love you. The Jesus love you. Peace Lady loves you. We love you.
We love you too, Sandy. Thanks for calling in.
Two things.
Happy
Donald,
Wednesday. Be safe. Have a great night.
You too.
Donald Trump was the only president in my lifetime who lost net worth while in office, while all others line their pockets, and like Pelosi and the illegal insider stock trading. Trump lost net worth. He didn't line his pockets like all the others. That's one reason why they hate him. But I want to go back to the name calling. I love this hypocrisy. I have said Trump needs to stop it. And you hear me all the time on this show. I have jokey names and come up with the clever hashtags, right?
Well,
I engage in it, but yes, he should be. I'm not running for president. He should tone that down and deal in policy. However, It's
Well,
not
let's
name calling to call us racist, sexist, Islamophobic, homophobic.
let's listen to Trump's reaction when he called into Fox and Friends this morning.
100% of the stories covered on ABC about Kamala, 100% of the time was positive. 93% of the time when they covered you, it was negative. So it was infuriating to watch them fact check you and not her when she brought up IVF, when she brought up Project 2025 several times, and when she brought up Charlottesville. Here are some of the lies that she said about you. Listen.
A detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing. Couples who pray and dream of having a family are being denied IVF treatments. If Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side. On that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, and some died. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking.
And the bloodbath, you were talking about the economy. It's a term that's used a lot when people are talking about a bad economy. What's your reaction to why didn't the moderators correct her?
Because they're dishonest, and because I think ABC took a big hit last night. I mean, to be honest, they're a news organization. They have to be licensed to do it. They ought to take away their license for the way they did that. Bloodbath was referring to the economy. Everybody loved the term because as soon as they heard the word, it's sort of a vicious word. But referring to the economy, they have created an economy. Bloodbath was the word that I used. And it was fine in that context. And they were trying to make it sound like there was a riot or something, and it was a bloodbath. IVF, I was a leader on IVF, the IVF, which is fertilization. I was a total leader on that. When I first heard about it, like right from the beginning, I was one of the leaders on it. And the Republican Party has been a leader on it. She tried to say it was just the opposite. The whole thing with abortion, what he said, I mean, it was incredible. I think he corrected me 6 times, and each time I was right. I believe each time I was right, didn't correct her at all, and she was saying these things. She was using, like, Charlottesville. She was using Charlottesville, and everybody, you take a look at Laura Ingraham, she did it incredibly. She had it totally debunked. She said that, in fact, it makes it angry. She gets angry when people hear about Charlottesville when they use that, because what they did is they stopped and they didn't put the following sentence in. And when they put the last sentence in, when it was all put together, what I said was absolutely perfect. And ABC knew that. Everybody knew that, frankly. I think they lost a lot of credibility. But regardless, look, the polls are saying that I won that by 80-20, 90. We have one here, 92-7, and I sort of believe that's right. I thought, look, I've been told I'm a good debater. I think it was one of my better debates, maybe my best debate. I think. I don't know. That's why I'm disappointed in this guy, Harold Ford. I don't know if he's still there, but I don't know what he was watching because he was just as dishonest as ABC, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't think that was one of his best debates.
No, I'll agree with you on that. Again, there are missed opportunities. He's not a politician. You know, I've run for office. I know how to frame things. He refuses to play the political game and learn how to phrase things better. Kamala phrases it perfectly to dodge, deflect, deny, distort reality. IVF, yes, Kamala. That's another one of those, you've been in office for 3.5 years. So if women are being denied IVF, whose fault is it? And why haven't you done anything about it? This isn't a Trump issue. This is a you've done nothing issue. And the other thing is Brandon Strzok of Walk Away from Democrats movement, a gay white Democrat, walked away because of the Charlottesville lie. Somebody emailed him the whole video of Trump's speech and him saying 3 times, I'm not talking about KKK, neo-Nazis, or white supremacists. just
And
the debate on statues.
And here's
Fine
Dave
people.
Rubin responding to the Taylor Swift endorsement of Kamala
And then
Harris.
let's talk a little bit about how this fits into the pop culture part of this, because pop culture is a huge driver of the cultural narrative. Well, here's the tweet from Colin Rugg about the Taylor Swift thing, and we'll get back to it in a second. So as we referenced before, Taylor Swift endorses Kamala Harris on Instagram after the debate on ABC, proudly calls herself a childless cat lady. Elon Musk, who they hate, he saw that, and he wrote this: "Fine, Taylor, you win. I will give you a child and guard your cats with my life." So he's mocking, he's exposing the ridiculousness, right? It's like, Taylor Swift, you are a young, pretty girl. Do you know what the gang members from Venezuela do to young, pretty girls? It ain't pretty. So what do we have to do? We have to keep finding each other to whatever extent we can. We have to keep waking people up. It is the only chance we have in these remaining 60 days. And then
Less than 60 days.
It's like Rush Limbaugh said. What was said there is perfect. Rush Limbaugh always used to say, demonstrating absurdity with absurdity. That was a perfect, swift comeback. She's young, she's dumb, she's got billions, she's got people around her all the time to cater to her every need. She is not wanting for anything in this life. She doesn't care whether you are poor as long as she is rich.
Okay, so let's take a quick break. This is the number to call if you'd like to join the conversation tonight. Okay, Mavericks, it's call-in time. Join the conversation. Call now, 1-519-401-1373. One 519-401-1373. Exercise your right to free speech. That's 1-519-401-1373. That's 1-519-401-1373. Maverick News. Call now. The world is watching and listening to you.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals. Defenders of individual rights and freedoms. Credible. Trusted. Grounded in reality. Maverick News. Maverick News. Defending free speech. Free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay. We're going to come back to the Trump stuff. We're going to also talk about these allegations that Kamala was wearing
80,000.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So
What
we'll
about?
We'll come back to that. But before we do that, I do want to talk a little bit about some other news of the day. Justin Trudeau under increasing pressure to go to the polls to call an election. He also is facing pressure clearly from within his own party, maybe to step aside as leader of the Liberals. This after the NDP pulling its support for the Liberals ending the coalition government that we've had in Canada with the NDP propping up the minority Liberals. Now, this week, right now, they go back to Parliament next week, okay? But right now, there are caucus meetings being held, a caucus summit for the Liberals. It's happening out in Nanaimo, British Columbia, and Trump meeting with reporters in between meetings with his caucus today faced these questions from reporters and responded to questions about his future, his political future and his political fortunes. Here he is. This is big news in Canada.
We're investing in the kinds of resource economy that leads into the knowledge economy, whether it's leading the world
to face
on
Poilievre
electric vehicle supply chains
in Parliament,
or drawing in global investment in strong jobs of the future. We are stepping up and investing in our future. We believe in Canadians. The world believes in Canadians. You know who doesn't believe in Canadians? Pierre Poilievre. Because his answer to what do you do with the strongest economy in the strongest fiscal balance sheet in the world right now is you cut. You cut programs that Canadians need. You cut the school food programs. It's going to save families $800 on grocery bills. You cut the spots in childcare that are allowing women to get back into the workforce and build those careers they need. You cut the programs that are delivering for Canadians right when they need it. We have the strongest macro balance sheet in the G7. We believe in putting that in service of Canadians by investing in them. And the answer the Conservatives are bringing forward is, oh no, we'll create growth and opportunities through cutting programs Canadians are relying on. That's the choice that people get to make in these upcoming by-elections. That's the choice people are going to make next year. And I can't wait to continue getting into it this fall with Poilievre, whose perspective is cuts are the only way forward, because I know that confident countries invest in their future, invest in their workers, invest in their people, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.
And the end. And walk away. Don't take any questions. He did take a bunch of questions. I shouldn't say that. That's not fair.
Well, Occam's is saying in the chat, Kamala was wearing a diamond encrusted flag.
We'll get that to that. I need to stay focused here for a moment. I want to touch on these other news stories of the day so we can get through this. We'll come back to that. So just please stay. Let me stay focused on this for a moment. One story at a time. This is Jagmeet Singh of the NDP today in his caucus. In between his caucus meetings, also responding to the same set of questions or kinds of questions, this issue. Will he, for Joseph, to explain to people, for an election to happen before, say, I think October of 2025, I think it is, in Canada, we have to have a vote of confidence in the House of Commons, which would be precipitated by a vote involving a key piece of legislation. Jagmeet Singh can help trigger that. All he has to do is pull his support and not vote in favor of a key piece of legislation, and the government could fall, triggering an election. Will that happen? Jagmeet Singh says he's not going to listen to Pierre Poilievre on this, who honestly called Jagmeet Singh out and challenged him to end the coalition government, which Jagmeet Singh ended up doing. Now, he'll say that it wasn't because of what Poilievre laid on the table, but I beg to differ. I think that he did sort of listen to Poilievre, realized it was the right thing to do, not just for the country, but also for the fortunes of his political party and his political career. Here's Jagmeet Singh today.
On ne va jamais écouter Pierre Poilievre, les conservateurs, qui veut faire mal aux gens. I've said on any vote, we're going to look at the vote and we'll make our decision. I'm not going to say our decision ahead of time. We will look at the votes and we'll make a determination on what's in the best interest of Canadians. Unlike Pierre Poilievre, who wants to play games, we actually want to get things done for Canadians.
On Air Canada, Poilievre said today that he supports the workers, the pilots in their dispute with Air Canada. Similarly, with the train dispute, he didn't want the government to intervene right away. So he seems to be trying to make an appeal to private sector unionized workers, which is traditionally your base. What do you make of that effort?
Well, first of all, when the rail workers were talking about going on a strike, we didn't hear a peep out of Pierre Poilievre. We didn't hear a squeak out of him. He didn't say anything. And in fact, he didn't show up. You know who your friends are when you're in a fight. And when the workers were in a fight, did Pierre Poilievre show up to any picket lines, to any rallies with those workers? No, he didn't. We showed up. I showed up. Alexandre showed up. Our team is always there with workers. It's not for us this political game that Pierre Poilievre likes to play. We always show up for working people. We always have their backs. When it comes to Air Canada, we want to again make it very clear. While Conservatives and Liberals lean on back-to-work legislation, they both have done that. Pierre Poilievre has voted in favor of back-to-work legislation multiple times. He has forced workers back to work, undermining their rights many times. Don't let him fool you. This is someone who attacks workers whenever he gets a chance. Whenever push comes to shove, he's not going to choose the workers. He's going to choose his corporate buddies. We're always going to support the working people. We're always going to back them up. We want to send a clear message to the Liberals. Do not interfere with the workers and their rights to negotiate freely for a contract.
You have spent 2 days here. Are you saying that your only priority heading into the fall sitting is a private member's bill on housing? What else are the NDP going to prioritize?
We mentioned yesterday one of our other major priorities is the fact that people are really hurting when it comes to the cost of groceries. And we've said that putting in place a price cap immediately would lower the price of food essentials like bread and baby formula, immediately lower those food essentials to give people some relief. And Liberals and Conservatives already voted against that once. Pierre Poilievre and Justin Trudeau took the side of massive record profit-making large corporate grocery stores over people. We're going to continue to fight to bring down the price of groceries and protect renters.
Sounds just like Kamala.
Okay, enough.
Sounds
so it's
exactly
obviously
like...
it's going to be fought. It's going to be this election. It's focusing on the economy. For Poilievre, Conservatives, he says it's going to be a carbon tax election. Even here, Jagmeet Singh of the NDP, socialist, right? He's way over on the left, way over. And he's also talking about the economy. But his approach is government control, price caps. Well, that's price control.
Communism.
Do you know, we tried that in Canada before under Trudeau
in
Sr.
the U.S. too. In the U.S. also. And
it was a disaster.
It was a disaster here too. But Singh will side with the commie union bosses, not the workers. He sounds exactly like the communist. I can't even say my own hashtag correctly. But yeah, again, yes, I jokey use name calling hashtags too, but I'm not running for president, right?
Okay, we have Dragon on the line with us right now. Dragon, I don't know if you're listening to any of that, but we're talking a little Canadian politics here at the moment. You're up there in Montreal. Tell us, sir, what is the mood up there? Are people in the mood for an election? Oh, hang on a second here. We've lost the speaker. Let's try that. Are people in the mood for an election, sir? In Quebec.
Yeah, my neighbor is. I will tell you that. A lot of my neighbor tells me that when I speak about politics with them, they go like, yeah, we need that election real soon. And I think that if it would be to be going tomorrow, we will go to the polls like right away if it would be the case. So, yeah, we're really ready around here, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of Canadians are. So, all that being said, do you think we will go to the polls early? Or do you think Trudeau will try to... From what he said today, he made reference to going to the polls in 2025. So I'm taking that as meaning that Trudeau wants to try to hang on until the end and stretch this thing out until October of 2025 or the fall of 2025. But I don't know if he'll last that long. Do you think that the NDP and the Conservatives and the Bloc will gang up on him and the Greenies and try to force an election?
yeah, I think it's a possibility that they will take their hands together and probably take us to an election pretty soon, I think.
I agree. I think we're kind of in that sphere as well. And while you're on the line, give me your assessment of the debate last night, sir. What do you think? Who won the debate?
I think on the PR side, and excuse me to probably be on the other side of the fence, I think Trump kind of win that PR thing, that PR contest between him and Kamala Harris, and I will tell you why.
Yeah.
I think that whatever what he has said yesterday, right?
Yeah.
It's always the same. I mean, it's the same rhetoric. It's the same speech again and again, with few change. I think that, I mean, it won't change the value or the face value of the voters in our neighbor country that, you know, I think they want Trump.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Knows pretty much what it is. So Trump is in pretty much in advance of Kamala Harris on the polls. So yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Any final thoughts for us tonight, Dragon, before we move on?
Stay positive always, guys. You are all Mavericks. So have a good one.
All right. Thank you. Dragon from Montreal, Quebec. Thank you, sir. And
he's
Joseph.
keeping it real.
Yes. And is this real or not real? The whole story about Kamala wearing earrings that look like headphones.
Could be
headphones.
maybe. I'm not convinced, but I've seen the conspiracy evidence.
What do you think? What do you think? Here, I'm going to show you this here.
There we go.
So they're saying that these little earrings that she had on are
hearing aids.
Hearing like a radio transmitter.
Yep.
Hearing buds so that she could get instructions. You know, somebody telling her what to say.
Yeah. Are you buying
that?
I don't know that she needed that. Again, they sequestered her for a week to memorize these pre-rehearsed items. She didn't need that. But again, conspiracy theory junk often sells. What matters more to me is factual evidence cannot be denied. The $78,000 pearl necklace, and oh yeah, like she knows what normal people live like.
Okay, so look at this. This is a commercial for these earrings that people say resemble or look like the ones she was wearing last night. And so this is what's fueling a lot of this. That and just that people love a good conspiracy.
You thought earrings were merely a fashion statement? Think again. Nova's H1 audio earrings is the world's first wireless earphones made with real pearls. Unlike conventional earrings, these earrings are placed on the earlobes and project the sound from inside the pearl straight into your ear canal. This directional sound technology can avoid sound leakage and keep conversations and music private and secure.
Like I don't fuck with you. You little stupid ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you.
Okay.
Well,
whatever.
Again, I don't think we need to go there. Again, like the name calling, let's skip the conspiracy and deal in policy. What other thing is also, I block people on social media all the time. That look, that's not Biden, it's the guy in a mask. There are doubles. Saddam had doubles. Putin had doubles. Every world leader who's under threat.
For security reasons, right? Like, body double. This guy's getting in that car in case, some foreign government wants to blow you to bits or whatever and assassinate you. I mean, these are world leaders. They live in a different world altogether.
Yeah.
And that's a very real threat.
Yeah.
But here's a photo. Here's a photo, close up. Apparently, they're claiming that these are her earrings that she had on last night. Do they look like the earrings that we saw in that ad? There's Tiffany and Company, double
They
pearl
may
hinged earrings of
be,
sterling silver.
maybe, but again, I don't think we need to go there.
She's wearing
She had a
$800
whole week of
earrings.
prep to memorize her garbage.
I don't know. You're buzzing. I knew Kamala was wearing an earpiece, and here it is. So here's this. Can you see that?
H1 audio earrings. Now that
So
looks like
there's
an exact
Nova.
match. That does look like an
No, it
exact
doesn't. It
match.
doesn't look the same at all to me. This is the audio earrings. That's gold. These ones are not. I don't know if that matters.
Another picture you showed made it look like it, but that could have been manipulated. Again, is this?
I don't know. They don't look quite the same to me.
These deep fakes, but again, I don't care.
Yeah.
Policy. Do you want a United States republic, or do you want communist Venezuela?
Yeah. Well, anyway, the earring thing, it doesn't look real to me. I don't think that. I mean, you'd have to really. I mean, I need real evidence.
Yeah.
And I don't even think those images match myself, but somebody just sent me some photos. Let me see. If these look credible and the same. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not buying it. Not quite. Nope. Nope. Maybe. I don't know. Nope. No, I don't think so. You can believe what you want, folks, and even if she did have earphones in, the words still come out of her mouth. She makes the decision on what she says. And I'll tell you this, if I was in a debate, I think the last thing I would want is somebody yakking in my ear.
A distraction.
Yeah. I don't think it's an advantage at all, really.
I agree. It would not be an advantage. And
because how do you know that the person behind the scenes is going to say anything more intelligent than you would anyway, unless you're a complete dolt? Right?
Well, that's what Alicia is saying in the chat. She's dumb. She needs somebody to feel. And while I agree, Kamala is dumb. I think she's smart enough to memorize the crap she spewed last night.
I think she had her lines memorized. I think she was well rehearsed.
Correct.
I think she put on a great performance, and I think that she did lead Donald Trump around. Yes. The whole
that was all fake. I'm smarter than you. I'm better than you. Look at me. Me. It was all rehearsed.
And at
but
times
also,
it was like, oh, Donald, you're so crazy. I feel so sorry for you. Yeah.
But Fox had a body language expert on, and of course, now they've knocked the cackle out of her. But the other poker tell was that bleeping grin she'd give every time Donald made factual points that were inconvenient. She'd get that grin like, oh, you're such a joke. But that was her nervous tell. Facts are coming out that are inconvenient.
So let's take a look at how other mainstream media like CNN, how they were responding to, have been responding to the debate last night. Some of it, I think, somewhat predictable. Here's Wolf Blitzer with guest.
Look, I think when you talk about who won or lost, that's not the key thing. It's where are undecided voters. Last night, Reuters actually had a focus group of about 10 undecided voters going into the debate last night. 6 of 10 left the debate saying they were going to vote for Donald Trump. Only 3 said they were going to vote for Kamala Harris. 1 was still left undecided. That is the true measure of who won and who lost. And the reason why I think undecided voters are going to lean towards Donald Trump is because Kamala Harris did not talk about the issues facing the American people. She spent her time trying to needle and get under the skin of Donald Trump. That might work well in a televised debate, but you can't needle Vladimir Putin. You can't needle Xi Jinping. You got to have serious leadership and serious policy, and she did not provide that last night.
Wow. I'm surprised that we got that comment on CNN, honestly.
Right. No, I agree with Byron, and I hope he's a presidential hopeful very soon. And yeah, I forgot where I was going to go now.
That's okay.
But no, indeed, it's do you want real or do you want the fake rehearsed? And indeed, it was all just a performance. That's what it was all about for cackles. And Trump, indeed, was on the defensive way too much and allowed her under his skin. And he's right. You're not going to be able to do that on the world stage with real bad actors, not the one you're falsely proclaiming the enemy of democracy, even though you're the nominee without one vote.
And here's RFK Jr. Hang on a second here. Let me see.
Yeah. He was right, though. She dodged and danced to avoid her record. That's where I disagree with what you said earlier. I don't think she gave many specifics. She dodged and danced.
And joining us live now is Isabel. How are you tonight?
Not too bad. A little less frustrated than I was last night watching the debate.
Yes. Yeah. So what was your impression? Who won?
She did bait him, no doubt about it, but she didn't give her policies again.
She dodged and danced.
I don't know. She was acting kind of like an unruly kid because of the facial expressions.
Yes.
The grin.
You know, I mean, she didn't have her cackle, although she tried. I did love it when he said to her, "I'm talking."
Yes, he did. Quiet, please. He said at one point, "Quiet, please."
That was a Reagan line. Yes.
That I liked. From what I saw last night, okay, he was baited. He was debating three, not her. He was debating the two what do you call them? The two people that
moderators, the moderators, yes.
The moderators and her. And yeah, I noted that last night when that guy said, "Well, we contacted them and there's no evidence." I'm like, well, why would you contact them? You didn't even know he was going to bring that up.
Right. Yeah.
Like, this is a debate, so it comes out of the blue, right?
Yes.
And I'm thinking, okay, so
see if that moderator on the dog thing, right, the dog eating thing, if he had phrased it in such a way that it was like this was information he just had top of mind because he had seen it in reports, or it was something that they had been covering or whatever, but that's not what he said. He said, we reached out to the city manager. So they prepared for that response.
Yeah, like, and then he started kind of like badgering Donald Trump over that, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to. He's supposed to be with debating Kamala, not debating you.
That's right.
And this is the feeling that a lot of people got because I watched Fox with the morning crew. I only watched the one because it's Republican. And I watched them, and I'm like, yeah, they're hitting it on the head with the reports that they were getting from people who, after seeing the debate last night, totally said, no, we want Trump. And I watched the DNC, and a lot of people have come out of the DNC, well, not a lot, but quite a few, had said there was so much fluff and so much
dodging
party atmosphere at the DNC, but there was no real information.
Yeah,
like we talked about.
Getting information. It was just like one big hoopla party.
The whole week of the DNC,
and
we covered that.
The RNC and the DNC, and the difference between the two was like day and night. One was all political, like with Trump, but the other one, it was just like a big friggin' party.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yep.
And as for that Walz, oh my God.
Style
I don't know
over
what's wrong with
substance.
that guy. Either he needs meds or he's taking too many.
That's a good
I
one.
mean, if my kid acted like that, I'd be looking at him going, you want to grow up? Like, you're acting like a fool. You know, he keeps coming out, patting his chest and pointing at her, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
hey,
It's a little
really?
bit. It's a little bit much at times.
It's a lot much. Now, I did see, and I believe that Trump did, and he came out after the debate, and he went into the swing room, and he was talking to the reporters.
Yep.
She disappeared.
Yep.
So that tells me she hasn't got the gumption to face the reporters, and she never does. So she proved it last night because he mingled for hours.
Yes, and he did some interviews afterward. In fact, I have a clip here of Trump with Hannity, I think, following the debate.
Yes, he was on with Hannity last night.
Yeah, so let me get that queued up here, and we'll share that with you. Actually, before we do that, RFK Jr., he has come out swinging and in defense of Trump and critical of these moderators. Here's what he had to say. Just stay with me. You won't be able to hear this, Isabel, but just stay on the line.
Watch it though.
Here you go.
We had moderators who were clearly biased, who were constantly fact-checking Donald Trump. But none of these kind of whoppers that the vice president was saying, and none of her failure to really explain that, answer that first question, that very, very critical first question. They simply sat there on the sidelines and allowed that to pass.
Yeah, so he's very critical of the moderators, saying that they are biased. And your view, what do you think, Isabel?
Oh, they were very biased last night. They were throwing questions at him, and they were throwing statements at him and badgering him. They didn't throw any statements at her. They didn't ask her, well, you're not really clear on your policies. Do you still stand for fracking? Do you still stand for opening the border, closing the border? What do you stand for? Because like really, they should have said, okay, prove to us what you're going to do, because this is your record for the last 3 years.
Yeah, so here's the clip with Trump and Hannity, and I'll run this. And again, you may not be able to hear this. I will paraphrase afterward if necessary.
Okay.
This was, I think, after the debate.
Her campaign is saying tonight, Washington Post is reporting that she wants a second debate. What's your answer?
She lost. She wants it because she lost.
Do you have an answer?
Well, I don't know. I have to think about it. But if you won the debate, I sort of think maybe I shouldn't do it. Why should I do another debate? She immediately said, we want another debate. That's, you know what happens when you're a prize fighter and you lose? You immediately want a new fight.
You want a rematch.
You want a rematch. The guy that won is sort of happy and thinking about it.
Would you be inclined to say yes, or you
Maybe
don't
if
know?
it was on a fair network, I would do that. But
I think let Hannity moderate it.
Yeah, no, I think
like
that
I
would be
did
fair.
Newsom and Ron DeSantis.
I think it would be fair. You would be fair, actually.
I would be
you
fair.
want to know the truth.
I'd let you both talk. I'd let you go at each other.
I thought they would be fair. They weren't, but I felt very comfortable.
Yeah.
We have the best policy. She has no policy.
Yeah, so he's saying, you know, would Kamala wants a rematch? Would you do it? He says he'd think about it because when you lose a debate like a prize fighter, the first thing you want to do is have a rematch. And if you're the winner, you kind of have to sit back and think about it. So do you think there will be or should be a rematch, Isabel?
I was listening to that last night too, and my opinion on that was that Trump was right. I mean, usually the winner doesn't have to prove anything. But the guy that loses, like my opinion of Kamala is, she lost. So she's fighting for another chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So to me, yeah, she was the loser definitely a loser.
But
I
Trump,
look at her on TV. That's the only kind of interview she'll do is when she's in an area that she knows she's going to be okay in. She's not going into areas like Trump is to fight for anything. She's going into secure areas that she knows she's going to get a vote.
Mm-hmm. Joseph's going to comment. You won't be able to hear him. Go ahead, Joseph.
yeah. But Trump previously insisted there should be 3 debates. My entire life, there have been 3 presidential debates. If you count the Biden one, there's been 2. There must be another one. He must hold to his word and make Cackles be the one who's been. She denied the Fox debate. She's
So-
avoiding the debates.
Right. So Joseph is saying that traditionally you have 3 debates with, the first one with Biden, the second one now with Kamala, and now Joseph is saying, as far as he's concerned, there must be a third debate. There has to be, and there should be. So, what do you think? Is that a requirement in your view?
If it's the norm, I think Trump's going to want to stay with the norm, but I think he's going to have the upper hand this time, and he's going to make the decision on when he's going to do it.
I think that he will probably has learned something from what happened last night. I think the next time he would go in better prepared. I think that he would. That's my view.
Yeah. I think he will go in prepared, but I think he's going to keep her on a string, wondering when he's going to accept a debate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and no matter what they say about him, when I look, because I'm Canadian, I live in Glencoe, not far from you, but when I look at it, and I think like the States was in a much better position. They were in the position of power, and like Biden and Kamala don't care. They don't care about the people. When you listen to her, anybody that's thinking, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to get free this, I'm going to get free that. That's what we did in Canada too, and look where we are. So you're going to get all this free shit, excuse the words. Who's paying for that?
Yeah,
like,
it's not free.
You're paying for it, so it's not free.
Yeah.
So you're going to take my money and give it to these freeloaders that are coming in from the country. Oh, yay, and I'll be so happy because I won't be able to live anymore, but I'll be happy. No, I don't think so. Like in our country, I wish that Trudeau would just kind of like poof, disappear.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add tonight? Isabel? Anything else you'd like to add tonight before we move on?
Getting distortion.
I was looking because they were talking about these cats and dogs, and I'm a dog owner. But there was actually a council meeting where people went to this meeting in Springfield, and they were complaining about this. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it is for real because I've seen the clips, and I'm like, wait, come on. They're talking about eating the ducks in the ponds, in the parks. Yes. They're talking about eating roadkill on the side of the road. Okay, but there is actually a council meeting where they went into the council in Springfield and that people were complaining. I mean, that's great. They got their tradition.
Oh, they're all liars.
There and hold your tradition. And I
they're all Trump plants.
Tradition. If you want to uphold it and you do it privately, that's fine. But when you come out publicly, you need to go back. I'm sorry, I moved here as an immigrant when I was 5. I melted into the pot, did what I had to do. I didn't come here to change anything. And it irks me when being an immigrant and seeing what they're letting them away when I know what I went through. They could call it racism now because I have red hair and my parents were Scottish. Nobody could understand my parents except for me. But I was always marked because I had red hair. So I always got the teasing. It only made me stronger. It didn't make me meaner. It just made me more self-reliant and not pushing my views on other people. That's just my theory, but yeah.
Well, thank you for calling in tonight. I appreciate you doing that. Very good comments, and a pleasure to speak with you as always.
Well, I don't know
Rick, and have a good night, Joseph.
Okay.
Thank you, Isabel. Yes, it is.
All right. See you later. Bye.
And Isabel, I don't know if she's a Christian, but let me make this point. It is why communism fails. Jesus said, the poor will always be among you. That wasn't an economics statement. It was a human nature statement. If you let people be lazy, they'll be lazy. And eventually there are too many lazy you know what's in the cart to be able to pull. That's why it fails. So she's spot on. But again, the debate doesn't matter what I think. Doesn't matter what cackles fans or Harris's harem, as I call some of them. The independents. That's all that matters. If RFK is right, 60-40 split in independents, we win.
I'm surprised, honestly, that we're getting the comments we've been getting. After what I was listening to this morning, I was thinking that my comments last night, my initial comments were maybe not, let me rephrase. After last night, I provided an assessment. This morning, when I was talking to people and looking online, I was thinking maybe my assessment wasn't accurate. Maybe Trump didn't do as well as I said he did last night. I didn't think that he did that well, but this morning I thought he did much worse because of all the other responses that I was seeing online. But now, after doing this program, I'm thinking my assessment last night was more accurate. It was actually pretty much on the money, or at least it's in alignment with what the viewers here, our Maverick family, seems to think.
And again, it doesn't matter. Only thing matters are the independents in the swing states. And if RFK is right, they break 60-40 for us, we win.
And I said last night that it seemed like Trump was very specifically sending a message to people in those swing states, keeping, those specific voters in mind. That's why he kept talking about fracking, because it's voters.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. That's what he was doing. He was targeting those voters.
Virginia coal workers, Michigan auto workers who are auto workers for Trump are all over. The union commie bosses, of course, have always been in the tank for the Democrats.
Auto workers, right? That's what it's about. Yeah.
Yes, the swing states are what matter. Although, let me say this, please. I don't care if you're in a deep blue state or a deep red state, that likely we know how the presidential election will go. There are purple congressional districts. You must vote no matter how deep blue your state is or deep red your state is, because the purple congressional districts matter. Trump is not going to be a dictator on day one or any day. We need the House and the Senate to get things passed legislatively. You must vote.
Let's listen to his response to this question shouted at him today.
Rules, do you want a different format? Well, when you don't win, it's like a fighter. When a fighter has a bad fight, gets knocked out, or loses the fight, the first thing he says is, we want a rematch. So we won the debate according to every poll, every single poll. I think that, are we going to do a rematch? I just don't know. But we'll think about it. Would you still do the one rule?
So, exaggeration there. I know for sure he did not. Not every poll said that he won. In fact, the majority of polls I saw today indicated that people said that Harris won. Those are the ones that I looked at online. I curated a lot of it. I curated a lot of that, and indeed, overall, the polls seem to indicate that those polled, depending on how the questions are asked and how they skew the results, but the poll results suggest otherwise. The majority of polls actually say the opposite. But that's Trump. I mean, that's what he always says, right? Everything's always the biggest and the best and the best and the biggest.
Well, what he said there is true about prize fighting. So that's a good line. And of course, the leftist media had Harris wins debate written before the debate ever took place. So you've got to factor that bias in there too. Again, if RFK really has pulse on the independents, that is all that matters.
Right. Speaking of RFK,
Oh
I don't know.
no. Oh no.
Is RFK still an asset to him or a liability?
Oh, he's both. He's both. I'm not here to
That's
rah Trump.
yeah.
RFK is a loon. He's a nut. He's more Teddy Kennedy than JFK or his father. As I've said over and over, I'm not going to change my tune and lie and sing his total praises just because he's supporting Trump. He is both a pro and a con, a good and a bad. He's helping with some, but he's hurting with others. The question, is he a net gain or a net loss? That I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, honestly. At this
But
point.
that's the honest question. We're dealing in reality here, unlike some of the loon delusional fools in the chat here just to yank your chain again, of course.
And honestly, I don't like this. The Trump RFK Jr. They don't even see eye to eye on most things. Like to me, but this is the whole MAGA communism label that is being applied to the populist movement that is MAGA communism. That coming from what's his nuts there.
Give me a break.
But I see it. I see some of those far left communists, far left socialists, that those are a lot of the people that have been around RFK Jr. and, they're moving over into the Trump column. And so, yes, you are getting this convergence. And to me, I just find it.
As I've labeled them before, you've heard me say the libertarians. Yes, there is some of that. But again, I mean, I've got a piece for the libertybeacon.com that's going to come out before the election. RFK Jr. as health secretary. There are things, I don't have to agree with somebody on everything.
Okay.
To put them in the cabinet in the right spot. It depends.
So let's go to this. President Trump went by to see firefighters at Ladder 15 in New York City following the 9/11 memorial ceremony there today. And it's been 23 years since the 9/11 incident. And let's see what happened with Trump there.
Fellas, I didn't see you up there. You okay? Everything nice up there? We're good. Mr. President, great job last night. Yeah, that was 3-on-1. 3-on-1. It was. They were going at it. You did a great job, though.
And that's the way it looked today with Trump. Any thoughts on that, Joseph?
No, I'm still, rummaging around in my brain. RFK pro or con, is he better or a net gain? But as health secretary, Michelle Obama had her eat healthy stuff. Right now, all of a sudden they're, oh God, no, we got to have GMOs and but there are 8 billion people on the planet. We can't all afford the healthy stuff. We've got to feed the people. But those who can, if we can make our food healthier, we should. But now that RFK is supporting Trump, all of a sudden, he's a health nut. We can't listen to him.
It's time for us, though, to pivot here a little bit on our subject matter. And that was Trump, dealing with the 9/11 memorial stuff. And it has been 23 years. And I'm just going to pull this up and everybody remembers. I think if you were alive at the time, I certainly do. This is what it was like.
From the West Bank, these are Palestinian celebrations in the wake of Tuesday's terror attacks in the United States.
That people deny happened.
Palestinians took to the street chanting, "God is great." People were throwing candy, distributing candy to passersby. The U.S. government obviously has become increasingly unpopular, particularly in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, because Palestinians feel that the U.S. government has sided with Israel. One man, Nawal Abdel Fattah, wearing a long black dress, threw sweets in the air, saying, actually that's a woman, pardon me, saying she was happy because, quote, America is the head of the snake. America always stands by Israel in its war against us. Meanwhile, Yasser Arafat...
Again, they call Israel the little Satan. We are the big Satan because we dare support the Jews over the anti-Semites who want to and I was on a show earlier about Whoopi Goldberg. She said, and I got a lot of heat for it, she said Hitler and the Jews was nothing about racism. And she's correct. We are one human race, subclasses and subcultures. There are white Jews, there are black Jews, and every color in between. It's not a racism thing, even in our bastardized version of the word racism. And there are Orthodox Jews, Hasidic Jews, Messianic Jews. They are just anti-Semites.
Yeah. So let's just try and focus. And that is focused, but I don't want to get too deep into the politics of that at the moment. I mean, it is a solemn day, and this is what it looked like 23 years ago.
Did we get on that? I had one.
Yeah, again, somber Remembrance Day, not an anniversary. Anniversaries are for happy things. But I mean, you have to talk about the politics. They attacked us because of both faith and politics.
"23 years ago, I remember."
I'm
I was
wearing
at
this.
I was at home in the morning, and I was working an odd shift for the news, right? And I was a reporter, and my kids were home, and the TV was on, and I was getting ready to go to work, and this was on television, and I walked over and I looked, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I knew as soon as I saw that the whole world
was changing. Yep.
It had changed instantly with that single incident.
Yeah.
And then the phone rang.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I had to go to the border. So I was dispatched to the border because the borders were being shut down. And the airports were being shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And all the planes were being diverted.
They had to get them out of the air. Yeah.
The planes were a lot of them were being diverted up here to Canada. So they had a place to land.
Mm-hmm.
It was a day I will never, ever forget. And then off I went. And I was, I was down there. Part of what happened that day, as we all were in one way or another, but I was recording that little piece of history at that time. My little piece of the larger historical story that day, from my little perspective, not in New York, but I went down there to the Windsor-Detroit border. That day I was sent down there.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing's been the same since, Joseph. I don't know how
Correct. Yeah.
you view it, but
I know
before times. I mean, before 9/11.
It's what Daryl Worley, I think, did the song "Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning." Yeah, or is Daryl Worley's the "Have You Forgotten" song, which I play every 9/11 because I swore to never forget, and I will never forget. And I remember where I was. I was home. I had a couple of. I'm a former IT guy. So in the middle of the night, 2 different calls in the middle of the night, one in like 4 in the morning, I got disrupted. So I stayed home that day, slept till about 11. So I get up at 11 and turn that on, and whoa.
In the before times, we could cross the border from Canada into the
Easily.
United States with just a driver's license. You just show your driver's license to the border guard and you're on your way. And it was just that easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 9/11, everything changed, man. It
Yep.
was like much more scrutiny, longer lineups. Now you need a passport just to cross the border.
No,
There's a lot more.
you can. We have the expanded, or I forget what they call it, special driver's license. We can use. We don't need the passport.
Certain people qualify for that, but you know, if you're a frequent traveler, they have the Nexus cards and things like that. But you actually need
Average person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't go across that regular, so people have to show a passport now. It's different. It's just different, and there's just a lot more security. And you go to the airports now, and you have to take your shoes off. You have to take your belts off. You got to put it in the bin, and all the checking that goes on at the airports. These are, I don't mind so much. It's for me a small price to pay for what we think is security and safety. I totally get it. I don't know how effective it really is. I don't know if I guess it helps. I'm willing to do my part. It's just extremely unfortunate that our freedom is being curtailed in that way as a result of that. And the other thing that bothers me is the people who blame everything on ourselves constantly. This constant,
had to be our fault.
self-flagellation.
Yeah.
It's all our own fault now. And and the constant conspiracies that it's the government and it's taking everything away from us. Has anyone, seriously, I'm sorry, but there are people in the world who hate us, right? For a lot of different reasons. Maybe some of that we've contributed to, yes, but we have to get back to a place of pride in our country, in our nation.
Hey, we're not perfect. We're not perfect. We've made mistakes. We may make more mistakes in the future, but the U.S. and Canada is far infinitely better than a whole lot of other places on the planet. And I can count on one hand the number of times I've been over to Canada since 9/11, when I used to vacation there every year up on Sparrow Lake, Gordon Lightfoot's home of Aurelia there. I used to be over there all the time, but yeah, it's too much of a hassle, even for someone like me who was one of those frequent travelers back and forth.
So I don't, I get, people are critical of government when the government responds to a threat because the government is trying to respond to the threat. And then because they're responding and curtailing freedoms, they say, see, you don't really have freedom. The government's doing it to you. The government is to blame. And I mean, whatever. I don't want to get into all the conspiracies and stuff. Tonight, I think the most important thing is that we remember those who lost their lives, that we remember what things were like before, that we remember what our countries, Canada and the United States, stood for then and what we should be standing for now, that we remember what freedom is all about, that we continue to fight for freedom, that we continue to work toward freedom in a peaceful, productive way.
Yeah. And Antonio said in the chat about not letting this all drag us down forever. But at the same time, we must never forget. And even in my Terror Strikes book, there's a comic relief chapter. Yes, we have to keep our sense of humor. And I laughed a few minutes ago, nothing to do with this. I looked up at my TV, and on Newsmax that's on there, they had Biden in the Trump hat. So if anybody saw me laugh on the video feed, it was about that, not anything Rick said or this very serious and somber Remembrance Day topic.
And just finally tonight, folks, as we kind of draw things to conclusion here, I'm just gonna leave you with this. This is New York tonight with the searchlights reaching into the sky in remembrance of those who lost their lives, and I think in remembrance of the freedom we've all lost since 9/11. And with that, I thank you all for joining us here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow.
God bless. Take care. God bless everyone.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hold your family tight tonight.
Yeah. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.